In the year 63 BCE, in the city of Rome, a child was born who did not look like a conqueror, a warrior, or a king. His name was Gaius Octavius Thurinus. He was small in stature, often sickly, and came from a respectable but not powerful family. No one at the time could have imagined that this quiet boy would one day become Augustus Caesar, the first emperor of Rome, and the man who would transform a fragile republic into the greatest empire the ancient world had ever known. Augustus was not born into ultimate power. He created it, not through brute force alone, but through patience, intelligence, manipulation, and absolute control over human ambition. His story is not just the story of Rome. It is the story of how power truly works. A child in the shadow of a legend. Augustus was born to Atia, the niece of Julius Caesar, one of Rome's most famous generals and politicians. His father died when he was young, leaving him raised largely by his mother and grandmother. Though connected to Caesar by blood, Octavius grew up far from the center of Roman power. Rome at this time was a republic in crisis. Corruption was everywhere. Generals commanded personal armies. Political violence was common. The Senate was divided, and ambition ruled every decision. Young Octavius was observant. He watched. He learned. He understood something early that others did not. Rome was no longer governed by laws. It was governed by power. Julius Caesar noticed the boy's intelligence and discipline. Slowly, Caesar began grooming him. Against the advice of many, Caesar named Octavius his adopted son and heir in his will. This decision would change history forever. The assassination that shook the world. On March 15th, 44 BCE, the Ides of March, Julius Caesar was assassinated by Roman senators who claimed they were saving the Republic. Instead, they plunged Rome into chaos. Octavius was only 18 years old and was studying in Greece when he received the news. Most expected him to stay away from Rome to protect himself. Instead, he did something extraordinary. He returned. Against all odds, the teenage heir stepped into the most dangerous political environment in the world. The Senate underestimated him. His enemies mocked him as weak and inexperienced. Even Mark Antony, Caesar's most powerful general, dismissed him. That was their first mistake. From heir to player. Octavius did not challenge Rome openly. He played the long game. He aligned himself with Caesar's veterans, promising land and rewards. He used Caesar's name carefully, reminding the people that he was Divi Filius, the son of a god, after Caesar was declared divine. Soon, Octavius, Mark Antony, and Lepidus formed the Second Triumvirate, a brutal political alliance with absolute authority. Together, they unleashed terror across Rome. Enemies were hunted, senators were executed, property was seized. Even Cicero, Rome's greatest orator, was murdered. This was not justice. This was survival. War against the Republic's defenders. The assassins of Caesar, Brutus and Cassius, raised armies in the east. Octavius and Antony marched against them. The resulting conflict ended at the Battle of Philippi. Brutus and Cassius were defeated. Both committed suicide. The Roman Republic died on that battlefield. But the war for power was far from over. The rivalry with Mark Antony. Rome was divided. Antony controlled the east. Octavius controlled the West. Their alliance was built on distrust. Antony's fatal mistake was Cleopatra. In Egypt, Antony fell deeply under her influence. He adopted Eastern customs, declared Caesarion, Cleopatra's son, as Caesar's true heir, and distanced himself from Rome. Octavius saw his opportunity. He launched a propaganda war, portraying Antony as a traitor who had betrayed Rome for a foreign queen. The Roman people listened. The Senate declared war, not on Antony, but on Cleopatra. The Battle of Actium. In 31 BCE, the fate of the Roman world was decided at sea. At the Battle of Actium, Octavius's fleet, commanded by Agrippa, crushed Antony and Cleopatra's forces. Antony and Cleopatra fled to Egypt. A year later, both were dead. Octavius stood alone. He was now the most powerful man in the Roman world, but he knew something crucial. Rome hated kings. The genius of Augustus. Octavius did not declare himself emperor. Instead, in 27 BCE, he performed the greatest political illusion in history. He announced he was restoring power to the Senate and the people of Rome. The Senate, terrified of instability, begged him to stay. They granted him a new name, Augustus, the revered one. Rome was still technically a republic, but Augustus controlled the army, the treasury, and the provinces. He ruled without a crown, without a throne, and without opposition. The Pax Romana. Under Augustus, Rome entered a period of peace known as the Pax Romana, the Roman peace. Roads were built, cities expanded, trade flourished, art and architecture thrived. Laws were standardized, corruption was reduced. Augustus reformed the military, creating a professional standing army loyal to the state, not individual generals. He rebuilt Rome, famously declaring, "I found Rome a city of bricks and left it a city of marble." The man behind the power. Despite his authority, Augustus lived modestly. He wore simple clothing. He avoided excess. He understood image mattered more than luxury. But he was not gentle. He exiled his own daughter for immorality. He executed rivals quietly. He controlled information ruthlessly. Augustus believed order was worth cruelty. Failure and success. Augustus's greatest pain was succession. Many heirs died young. Betrayals haunted him. His most trusted general, Agrippa, died early. Eventually, Augustus was forced to name Tiberius, a man he did not fully trust, as successor. In 14 CE, after ruling for more than 40 years, Augustus died peacefully. Rome mourned. The Senate declared him a god. Legacy of an emperor. Augustus did not conquer the most land. He did not fight the most battles. But he built a system that lasted centuries. Every emperor after him ruled in his shadow. The Roman Empire endured because of Augustus. He proved that true power is not seized, it is designed. Final word. Augustus Caesar was not the loudest. He was not the strongest. He was not the most feared. But he was the most dangerous, because he understood one truth better than anyone before him. Control the system, and you control history.